Okay, today we are talking all about the 11 steps to a successful trade show or event. So, during this series, this is a 5-part series, I've covered so far how to know if this is the right show for you, how to plan and prepare for a show. And today we're on part 3, which is all about how to have a successful show stand. And then I'm going to follow that on with my essential trade show checklist and tools and what you need to do after the show to keep the flow. So, are you ready? Let's jump in. You're listening to the Stable Business Podcast. I'm your host, Jenni Bush, here to chat all things equine business with a new episode every week from me or from the best in the biz. Now, don't forget to leave a review and, of course, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode when it drops. Okay, so the day has arrived and we're about to head out and do your show. So how can we ensure that you have the most amazing, successful show? I'm going to cover my top tips around this and chat a little bit more about it. But of course, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Jenni Bush. I'm also known as the Equine Business Assistant, and I'm a coach and consultant here to help you to grow a successful, stable business. So while you're here, do make sure that you subscribe to the podcast because it really helps me to get my name out there and to meet other business owners just like you. And of course, head to the Equestrian Business Support Network, which is my special Facebook group, totally free, but it's where you can get more support, tips and tools and connect with me on a regular basis. Okay, right. So let's get into our amazingly successful show tips, shall we? So tip number one is make sure that you've got plenty of time to set up. Being stressed, rushing around will not set your show off on the right foot at all. So in addition to making sure that you've got all of the things, which is point number 2, so being prepared, and you've planned everything, you need to make sure that you actually plan enough time into your day as well to get everything set up. And then when it comes to being prepared, make sure you've gone through my handy show checklist, which I will discuss in the next episode. I'll talk all about the things that I think is really, really important to take with you when you go to a show and when you're doing a show. So make sure you read through that and you've got your plan in place. Now, then you're going to want to make sure that your stand, once it's all up and it's done, is looking amazing. So I spoke a little bit about how to actually plan for the show, and we talked about lighting, and we talked about how to make sure that it's clear and it's not cluttered and the name is clear. But you want to be making sure that it's well lit, it's inviting. You want to make sure that it's really clear who you are and what you do, and also that you've got everything positioned in a way that it's safe. It needs to be super, super safe, guys. Don't forget, health and safety always matters. Then you need to make sure that, of course, you've taken enough stock and products. So this is where you need to do your target sales. So I created a calculator in the first episode of my Ultimate series, just to kind of like work out how if this show is right. But from that, and you can work out based on the footfall and roughly what you think your conversion rate is and your percentage, you could roughly calculate how many items of stock would be a good plan for you, so that you can have the right sales targets, because the numbers do matter, guys. They really, really do. And it's surprising how many people I speak to and I'm like, well, how many are you trying to sell? I don't know. How much are you trying to make? I don't know. So have those targets in place and make sure that you bring enough stock and products to actually meet those targets. And then you're going to make sure that you've got enough marketing materials to give away. Yeah, you want to make sure that your business is seen all around the show. So I absolutely love it when you've got things like branded bags, stickers, anything that people are going to go, oh, where should you get that from? Yeah, so you have something bright, have something that stands out, get your name out, allow people to be part of your walking billboard all around the show and carry those things. So have you got enough marketing materials? The next thing that I want to make sure that you do to have a successful show is that you've got your payment systems up and running and it's working as flawlessly as possible. You can accept a variety of payment options. Maybe there's some other options backup that you can use, but get that planned in advance. Go and test it. You probably can't always go to the show to test it, but test it out in different places and see, okay, if I do a test run here, does this work? And if I do a test run here, does this work? And remember that a lot of the time you can get Wi-Fi, you can get like for your iPad or whatever, you can put SIMs in some of them, you can get the network connection on them. So if you don't have to rely on the network connection of a show in places, but make sure that you can actually take the money and you can accept a variety of payment options. The next tip that I would say is to practice what to say. It really, really helps And I know you might sound silly saying they're going, oh yeah, well, I'm such and such and I do this, I'm such and such and I do this. But you need it to almost to have trained your tongue muscle to be able to roll it off. And I know it sounds crazy, but we don't want to be tongue tied in those moments. You want to be able to chat with visitors and not thinking, how do I say this? How do I say this? So make it super easy. So a lot of the time I say, well, I help to grow equestrian businesses using, to have a increased income, to have stable life, and I do that with my Gallup business building methods, or I do it with the stable foundations habit, etc. So make sure that it just rolls off and it feels natural. If it doesn't feel natural, rewrite it until it does feel natural, and that you can actually do that. It will just make such a big difference, especially get all your staff to do that as well. And the next tip you're going to make sure that you do is make sure that it's really, really easy to collect leads and it's really clear what promotions that you've got on. So your stand becomes this experience for people to go to. It really helps to generate that buzz at the show. Because as I said in the last episode, nothing makes a stand busier than a busy stand. And yes, you want people there, you want people talking. And I did this a lot because I know that's super key. And I've done this a lot at shows when I've had clients and things there. I've purposely gone and stood there and talked to them and been talking, because I know then when people are walking past, they're like, oh, they're chatting, there's something going on, there's something interesting I want to hear, I want to see, I want to be nosy. So use it to your advantage. And then again, this one is super key, and I've spoken about it all the time. But it's part of my Gallup framework. So I always talk about getting in front of people, A, to sell, and then the first L in Gallup is always looking after yourself, and it's the same at show as well. If you are not looked after through this, you will not do as well as you could do. So have you got water? Have you got snacks? Have you got people coming to give you rest breaks? Have you got good shoes? Have you got anything that you possibly could need? Have you got some paracetamol stashed away somewhere in case you get a headache? Have you got I don't know, somewhere good to sit? But make sure that you're really looking after yourself, because it will just really, really pay off. And I want you to have a successful show, so you've got to be key to look after yourself. So that means good night's sleep, early to bed, feet up, resting, everything you need, good dinners, good breakfasts, and make sure that you are well cared for. And then my next tip is to always leverage the show to the fullest. Leverage the show. Yeah. Don't think that it's just the show. You've got a whole lot of things that you can be doing. And I have created in my blog post a little leverage checklist. So if you go and check out the blog at Jenni Bush and look up episode number, I think we're on number 3 now, you'll be able to find it. But have a little bit of a checklist and go, okay, what can I do before, during and after? What am I going to do before, during and after to leverage this show to the fullest? Yeah, don't just think it's the show. You can promote it for weeks leading up to it. You can build that buzz. You can email your list. You can use hashtags. You can find people to collaborate who are also there. You can tag the show in your posts. You can share photos and videos of your stand at the show to create the buzz. You can share pictures of it being built up, and I love this when the London International Horse Show do it. Every single year they show how it's being built as part of the build up and the buzz, and show things coming together, show how you're putting things together, talk about it and create that content, because it will really, really help. You've then got opportunities afterwards, maybe for PR, maybe for sending emails talking about the show. Maybe there's opportunities to collaborate with somebody. And I did this last year, actually. A lot of people I invited on the podcast afterwards because we made that connection. So what other leveraging opportunities have you got there? And the next one, my final point of this, is to create photo opportunities. You want to make your stand shareable. What would it do for you if 10 people that visited with 1,000 followers each, all took a picture and posted your business out? What would that do to your reach? How could that help your business? So what photo opportunities can you take? Don't shy away from this. What opportunities can you create for other people? And I talked about this in yesterday's in a bit more detail, but I've made my daughter dress up as a mascot once, as a horse, and she had I paid for a sash to be made with the business name on it, and I just bought a costume of like a mascot, like a horse costume, and then we put the sash on it, and dressed it up. Like, could you do those things for a photo opportunity? Could you create an area that's really cool that people can take something fun? Perhaps I'm just even thinking now, because I come up with ideas on this all day. You know, those boards that they have at the seaside where people have put their heads through and they have their pictures taken. Maybe you could do something like that. You know, it makes it an event, but it creates that social media opportunity for people to share out and about, them having fun. But hopefully these few little quick tips will just help you to make the most out of that trade show and event. And of course, good luck, and let me know how it goes. And if any of these were helpful, I want to know. Just let me know. Share your pic. Share your. I'm quite happy if you share your stand. Tag me in it and say, yeah, your favourite tip or a tip that you followed from this series, and I will share it out as well. And you can get in front of my audience too. You know, use that to your advantage, because that's what I'm here about. I'm here to help you to grow and to support your business. So I hope this was a useful episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know what your top takeaway is, and of course, join me on the next one where we are talking all about the essentials that you need to bring and to pack to go to show, your essential checklist. So I'll see you there.